Good afternoon from Kuala Lumpur and welcome to the AFC Asian Cup China 2023 Qualifiers final round draw. My name is Zhonghwan Won and I'll be your host for today's very exciting draw ceremony conducted here at a virtual studio. First thing first, a warm welcome to everyone watching this live. Thank you for joining us today. Just a brief information, the AFC Asian Cup China 2023 will be played across 10 host cities starting on June 16th next year. That is exactly 478 days from today. But what is happening today is that besides the 13 teams, including the host, China PR, which have already qualified for the AFC's flagship national team competition, 24 teams will discover their opponents in the qualifiers final round to clinch the remaining 11 tickets to China. So I hope everyone has fastened their seats in front of the screen for an exciting ride that is happening today. Let's begin the show with a video showcasing what to expect for the upcoming qualifiers.
AFC Asian Cup China 2023 Qualifiers Final Round Draw Mechanism. Entries. The following 24 member associations of the Asian Football Confederation will participate in the AFC Asian Cup China 2023 Qualifiers Final Round. Teams from Preliminary Round 2. The following two member associations have qualified from the AFC Asian Cup China 2023 Qualifiers Playoff. Competition format. Seeding for the draw. Seeding for the draw shall be based on the latest FIFA rankings available at the time of the draw. Therefore, the FIFA Coca-Cola ranking released on 10th February 2022 is applied to identify the seeding for the draw. Groupings and mode of competition. 24 teams will be drawn into 6 groups of 4 teams each to play in a single round-robin format. The following match sequence will be applied for the matches. The winner of each group and the 5 best runner-up teams amongst all groups, 11 teams in total, qualify to the AFC Asian Cup China 2023 finals. Draw principles. Teams will be divided into 4 pots according to the rankings based on FIFA Coca-Cola World Ranking as of 10th February 2022 and 1 hosts pot. The host MAs will be taken from their seeding pot and placed in a separate pot allocated for the hosts in order to draw them into different groups at the beginning of the draw. Each host association will be drawn into different groups, but to the same position as reflected in their original seeding. The pot number represents the position the team shall be placed in the group. Teams from pot 4, pot 3, pot 2 and pot 1 shall be placed in position 4, 3, 2 and 1 respectively in each group. The first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth ball drawn from each pot shall be placed in groups A, B, C, D, E and F respectively. Draw mechanics. The draw will take place in the following sequence. Hosts pot. Pot 4, pot 3, pot 2, pot 1. Hosts pot. The first ball drawn will be allocated into Group A. However, its position in Group A will depend on the seeding of the drawn team. For instance, if Uzbekistan, Kyrgyz Republic or India is drawn, they will be positioned as A1. But if Kuwait is drawn, they will be positioned as A2, while Malaysia will be positioned A3 and Mongolia will be positioned as A4 if drawn as first team. Similarly, the second, third, fourth, fifth and last balls drawn shall be placed in groups B, C, D, E and F, while the same position allocation principle of Group A continues to apply. Part 4. The balls drawn from Part 4 will be placed into empty positions 4 of all groups in the order A to F accordingly. The same sequence will apply to Pots 3, 2 and 1 accordingly. This will conclude the draw for the AFC Asian Cup China 2023 Qualifiers Final Round.
Now that we understand the draw procedure, please welcome the Deputy Director of Competitions and Football Events, Avazbek Berdikulov, to conduct the draw first today.
Greetings from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, the home of Asian football. We have 47 member associations in the Asian Football Confederation, and 13 of these member associations have already confirmed their qualification to the final competition to be held in China next summer. 10 member associations have already been eliminated as a result of preliminary joint qualifiers round 1 and Asian Cup qualifiers playoff matches earlier. So here we have in front of us 24 member associations trying to get their spot in the remaining 11 positions in the final competition. Among these 24 teams, we have various levels of member associations, including former champion Kuwait from 1980, and we have 2 former runner-ups, India from 1964 and Myanmar from 1968. We also have 2 former third-place teams from the AFC Asian Cup finals, Thailand from 1972 and Hong Kong from the first edition in 1956. We also have among these 24 teams 6 member associations who have never played in the final competition, and they will be trying for the first time to qualify for the final competition. Enough of the statistics. As explained, I have 5 pots in front of me, and we start doing the draw from the first pot, host spot, to decide which of these groups will be hosted in which member association. We have divided teams into 4 pots according to their ranking released by FIFA on 10 February. And then we have taken out host member associations from their pots and put into this host spot. We'll draw them into 6 groups, but in order to maintain their ranking, we will put them into same pot position which they will be taken from. So as I explained during the draw mechanism, if I take out the team from the pot 1 from this host spot, they will go into position 1 in their group. Team taken from pot 2 will go into position 2, and so forth. We'll continue drawing them from group A to F in the order of their draw. So the first team to be drawn and hosting group A, we have Kuwait. They have missed the last Asian Cup due to sanctions, but they were champion in 1980 when they hosted the competition. Kuwait taking position 2 in Group A. Next team hosting Group B, we have Mongolia. They have never qualified to the final competition. We have 14 member associations who have yet to qualify to the final competition, and Mongolia is one of them. They will be hosting Group B at home, trying to break this record, and the matches will be held in their capital, Ulaanbaatar. Mongolia B4. Hosting Group C, we have Uzbekistan. They never missed the AFC Asian Cup finals since joining AFC in 1994, and they will host the matches in Namangan City from 8th to 14th June, Group C, position 1. Hosting Group D, we have the next team, India. This will be their 5th qualification if they make it to the final competition. It will be the 2nd consecutive one. They participated in the previous competition held in United Arab Emirates in 2019. India will host the group in Calcutta City, and they take position D1. We have 2 more balls remaining in the host spot, Kyrgyz Republic, which will host matches in Bishkek, and Malaysia, who will invite the teams here to this city, Kuala Lumpur. So hosting Group E, we have Malaysia. They have missed the last 3 Asian Cup finals after hosting it in 2007. They will take position 3 in Group E and host the group in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Final ball from this spot and hosting Group F, taking position F1, should be Kyrgyz Republic, and here is the confirmation. They made their debut in 2019, reaching round of 16 and making surprise to all member associations. Kyrgyz Republic will try for their 2nd consecutive qualification, F1. Moving on, now it will be straightforward. We put teams to the pots, to the positions according to their pot number. So we start drawing from pot 4, and we skip Group B because we have already drawn Mongolia from this pot to Group B. So we'll draw first team to Group A, then C, D, E, and F accordingly. Taking position in Group A4 and joining Kuwait, we have first team from pot 4, Nepal. They are one of the 14 member associations who have yet to make their debut in the final competition. They will try playing in Kuwait City on 8, 11, and 14 June to break this record. Nepal, position A4. Next team, going to Group C and traveling to Namangan City in Uzbekistan, we have Sri Lanka. Another team who have yet to qualify to the final competition, and they will play the opening match against Uzbekistan on 8 June in Group C. Okay, next team drawn from this pot will join Group D in India, and they will play the opening match against the hosts. And we have Cambodia, position 4 in Group D. 2 more balls remaining. One of them will travel to Malaysia, and another one will go to Kyrgyz Republic in Group F. So first ball coming here to Malaysia. Bangladesh. They qualified to the final competition in 1980. The only time they made their appearance in the final competition. They will try for their second appearance, playing here in Kuala Lumpur together with Malaysia in Group E. Final ball from this pot should be Singapore, as I have been informed. So pot 4, here is the confirmation. Last ball, Singapore. Only time they played in the final competition was in 1984 when they hosted the final competition. Singapore will travel to Bishkek and play the opening match against the hosts on 8 June 2022. We continue with the draw in the same order. So pot 3 teams, we will distribute them into groups A, B, C, D, E, and F. We'll skip Group E because Malaysia from this pot has already been drawn. So we'll draw 5 teams into 5 other groups except Group E. The first ball, joining Kuwait and Nepal in Group A and taking position A3, we have Indonesia. They missed the last 3 Asian Cups after hosting it in 2007. They will try for their qualification, playing all their matches in Kuwait City. Position A3. Continuing the draw, and we find out the team who will travel to Mongolia for Group B, position 3. We have Yemen. They made their debut in the AFC Asian Cup in 2019, and this will be their second consecutive qualification if they make it to the final competition. Yemen taking position 3 in Group B. We have Afghanistan, Myanmar, and Maldives, and the team drawn next will travel to Uzbekistan, joining Uzbekistan and Sri Lanka in Group C. Maldives. This is another team yet to make to the final competition of the AFC Asian Cup. They will join Sri Lanka and Uzbekistan in Group C, position C3. Going to Group D in India and playing all matches in Calcutta, we have Afghanistan. Another team yet to make debut in the final competition. Afghanistan will try their luck in Group D, position 3, together with hosts India and Cambodia. The final ball from pot 3 should be Myanmar, and here is the confirmation, and they will join Group F, taking position F3. They played in the final competition in 1968, the only time they qualified to the final competition, where they lost to the hosts and eventual champions, Islamic Republic of Iran, in the final. Runners-up of 1968, Myanmar taking position F3. We have 2 pots remaining, 8 teams to be drawn into groups of 6 positions empty. So from pot 2, we'll take 5 teams and draw them into position 2 in groups B, C, D, E, and F. As you know, Kuwait from this pot has already been drawn, and they have taken position 2 in Group A. So the first ball drawn, going to Group B and joining Yemen and hosts Mongolia, we have Philippines. They also made their debut in 2019 AFC Asian Cup in the United Arab Emirates. It will be their second consecutive qualification if they make it to the final competition, and they will try to do so in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, in Group B, position 2. Next team, joining Group C and completing Group C, we have Thailand. They were host of the AFC Asian Cup finals in 1972 and 2007, and they finished round of 16 in the last edition in 2019, Thailand take position 2 in Group C. With next team, we will also complete Group D, and we will see who will join India, Afghanistan, and Cambodia. We have Hong Kong. They also qualified to the AFC Asian Cup one time in 1968. So they participated in 1968 Asian Cup last time. They take position 2 in Group D. Tajikistan and Turkmenistan is remaining. One of them will travel to Malaysia, and another one will complete Group F and join fellow Central Asian country, Kyrgyz Republic. So start with Group E first. Taking position 2 in Group E and coming here to Malaysia, we have Turkmenistan. This will be third time if they qualify to the final competition, and interestingly, they played last time when China hosted the final competition in 2004. Turkmenistan take position 2 in Group E and come to Kuala Lumpur to play against hosts Malaysia and Bangladesh. The final ball from this pot, Tajikistan, the only Central Asian country who have not yet qualified to the final competition, and they will join Group F position 2. This completes Group F, and we have only 3 balls remaining in pot 1, and we have to identify which of these teams will go to Group A, which one will go to Group B, and the last one should go to Group E. Starting with Group A, taking position 1 in Group A and traveling to neighboring Kuwait, we have Jordan. They have not missed the last 3 Asian Cup finals. Very strong team, and they look forward for their 4th consecutive qualification to the final competition. Jordan will take position A1 and travel to Kuwait. We have Bahrain and Palestine remaining, and the first ball drawn now will travel to Mongolia and take position 1 in Group B. Palestine. They played in the last 2 Asian Cup finals, and they look forward for their 3rd consecutive qualification. Very strong Middle East team yet to release their full potential, take position 1 in Group B. The final ball of the day should be Bahrain, and they will travel to Malaysia in Group E, and here is the confirmation. Bahrain qualified to all AFC Asian Cup finals since 2004 when China last hosted the Asian Cup finals, and they take position 1 in Group E, joining Turkmenistan, Malaysia, and Bangladesh. This concludes the draw for all 24 teams, split into 6 groups. We look into interesting matches, and I pass the floor back to Jung-Hwan to do the recap. I wish all participating member associations the best, and see you in China next June.
Thank you, Abbas. Indeed, we have some very interesting matches lined up among the 24 contenders. Let us recap the draw results for the qualifiers final round, starting from the Group A. In Group A, we have Jordan, Kuwait, Indonesia, and Nepal, and Kuwait being the host for Group A. In Group B, Palestine, Philippines, Yemen, and Mongolia are in the same group for Group B, Mongolia being the host for that group. Group C, Uzbekistan, Thailand, Maldives, and Sri Lanka are in the Group C. Uzbekistan, the host, will host the Thailand, Malaysia, and Sri Lanka. Group D, India, Hong Kong, Afghanistan, and Cambodia are in the Group D. India will be the host for that group. Group E, Bahrain, Turkmenistan, Malaysia, and Bangladesh are in Group E, and Malaysia will host Group E. And finally, Kyrgyz Republic, Tajikistan, Myanmar, and Singapore are in the Group F, and Kyrgyz Republic will host the final Group F. As a reminder, the qualifiers will be taking place across 3 match days on June 8th, 11th, and 14th later this year at 6 host countries. Please note that the champion team in each group shall qualify for the AFC Asian Cup China 2023, and 5 best-ranked second-place teams among all 6 groups shall clinch the remaining tickets for the finals. So that concludes today's draw ceremony. Thank you for joining us. I wish all the best to the participating teams, and may the matches be played in the spirit of fair play. Wherever you are, please take care and stay safe. Thank you.